here.
And Miss Parkinson.
And we're just going to talk you through very briefly what it is that the GCSE Ethics, Philosophy and Religion course is about.
And why you should do it.
So the first thing is, what we really want to push and to communicate with you is that the GCSE is a really good opportunity for those of you who are currently interested in what we're doing in Year 9. And the key things that we really work on in the GCSE and that you've already been introduced to this year are
things like, what is the value of life? Should we be allowing abortion? Should we be allowing euthanasia? Those different big questions that we've already been looking at this year, and you guys have been getting really into debating.
And further down in the year, in Year 9, we're going to look at some philosophy and consider whether it is and how it is that arguments for and against the existence of God are valid, where it is that you feel that you stand on that spectrum. And all of this kind of introduces you to what we do in the GCSE. And absolutely everything is very much centred on debate and discussion, and most importantly, you developing your opinion in response to these big questions. We do also have to look at what it is that Christians and Muslims believe, and then how it is that those beliefs affect the choices and the behaviours that they make. And we've drip-fed some of that into Year 9 already when we look at the sanctity of life and how that affects attitudes towards abortion. We're going to look at euthanasia. So actually, if you are enjoying what we're doing currently in Year 9, then it really is a fantastic taster of what's to come in the GCSE, where we actually go into a lot more depth and detail and get you to generate your own opinions.
Absolutely, and some of you are so opinionated at the minute, and it's absolutely fantastic hearing you debating and bouncing ideas off each other in lessons, and it'd be really good to see how far you can take that in the GCSE. So if you are curious about things such as, when does life begin? Should we bring back the death penalty? Some of those really big questions that, as Miss has already said, we've already touched upon over the last year in EPR, then you should definitely do this at GCSE as well. So just take a look at some of the other questions that we will be debating over the course of the GCSE and developing further.
And ultimately, if you do have a personal response, or even if you don't have an opinion on this, it's all about you looking at what it is that people think, and then in return, hopefully coming up with your own judgment. And it is, like we've already said, it's very much based on debate, discussion and argument. And as Mrs. just said, a lot of you are very opinionated. And even those of you who are not opinionated, these questions generate discussion, generate an opinion, and that's what the GCSE course is about. It's about equipping you with knowledge so that you can then in turn formulate and construct your own argument in response to some of these really important, really relevant, really contemporary life and big questions.
That's obviously a huge and really important skill to have, and will help in all your other subjects as well if you're able to develop it.
So when it comes to the actual GCSE itself, without going and boring you too much, ultimately at this stage we just want to let you know really that we do cover the EdXL GCSE full course 9-1 Religious Studies B. Now it's called Religious Studies because obviously we have to include Christian and Muslim beliefs, and as I've already said, we look at the practices that these communities do and how it is that those beliefs affect them. But actually, really importantly, the key focus really for us is across paper 1 and paper 2. It's about these bigger issues, these bigger worldly issues, and how it is that these religious groups respond to them, but in turn, how you then feel as a result of that. And the exam is very much geared towards you identifying what people believe, but then generating your own response to those different beliefs.
Yeah, absolutely. And we do encourage you to take quite a critical view of some beliefs that you hear and you read about across the two different faiths that we study, in order to help you generate a really strong argument when you're presenting your response.
And again, if you've got any questions about what we actually cover, then we'll tell you where you can find us. Hopefully you already know where you can find us anyway, but come and speak to us and we can give you some more information, we can give you clarity, we can give you examples of the things that we look at in a bit more depth.
So if you just take a look at the screen, you'll see some of the frequently asked questions we get in this subject. I think one of the key ones is what is the difference between EPR at GCSE and compulsory prep, which you will all be doing next year. Prep is more geared towards the sort of citizenship side of things. So what we cover in the full course at GCSE is different to what you will be doing in prep. Prep is not assessed, there is no homework, whereas with GCSE actually it is assessed, and you will get the full GCSE from it.
Yeah, another really big question that we've had come up in previous years is this idea of, do I need to be kind of meeting or exceeding my NEA right now in order to do the GCSE and to be good at the GCSE? And what we say is, obviously it's ideal for you to be making that expected progress in the subject, but actually what we really want, and our key kind of desire from you, is that you really just enjoy the subject, you want to learn more, you're willing to work hard. And obviously, you know, the GCSE course is tougher than Year 9, but that's across the board. But we work hard to get you where you want to be and where you need to be, and all we ask is that you're committed, you're enthusiastic, and you want to be with us, and that will naturally feed into you making really good progress. And there are a few other questions on there. One of them is about trips. A lot of people historically ask about trips. Obviously, currently with COVID, that's not possible at the minute, but there is a trip to Rome in the pipeline, and we will obviously communicate that with you as and when we're allowed to do so. And it will be between myself and Miss Parkinson, hopefully, that you'll have as your teachers in the year or coming years, if you choose to stay with us.
So obviously we have quite a big cohort of Year 10 at the minute, and we just thought it'd be really good for you to see what some of our current students think of the subject. If you just take a look at some of the things that they've said, it's just really nice to hear that they're enjoying the subject and that they're really enjoying the variety of different activities that we do. Something that a lot of them have commented on is the fact that every single lesson is different. There's no every sort of activity is slightly different, and we do try to give you a variety of different things to do in order to keep it interesting.
And one of the key things as well that the students comment that they really enjoy and appreciate is actually the fact that we get you to do exam questions straight away. So in your first and your second lessons, you're already introduced to how it is that we answer questions, and you do it, and you do an exam question, and then we mark it, we feed back, and what that means is that you very quickly, very early on, you get an idea of how to answer these questions, and then it makes life so much easier because you've got the exam technique, and it's just about adding the new knowledge now and applying new knowledge as we go through the course to this technique. And Year 10 have really said that has really helped them in their confidence, but also in their progress, to know what to write in these exam questions without even really needing to think anymore. And we're only into term 1, aren't we? Not even at the end of term 1. So that's something that I think we're really proud of, and that students really comment on as being an absolute strength of the course. And that's it, really. If you've got any questions, you know where to find us.
Yeah, come grab us lunchtime, break time, in lessons, ask us anything that you have thought of that we haven't covered across this video. But yeah, you know where to find us.
And ultimately, if you enjoy what you're doing this year, and focus on this year, if you're enjoying what you're doing this year, then the GCSE is absolutely something that we would really like you to consider. Because it's about your enthusiasm, it's about your willingness to participate, and your commitment to the course, and we will get you that grade that you want and that you deserve, and that comes second almost to your enthusiasm and your commitment. So please come and find us, grab us, ask us any questions. We can give you some information if you need it, or if your parents would like to get in touch with us, then please point them in our direction. You know what our email addresses are, so please send us an email, and we'd be really happy to communicate regarding whatever it is that you want to ask. Okay, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Bye.